If you want to get published in any type of journal, also in HemaSphere, it's important to have a clear message in your article. Clear abstract written with the high importance of your publication. Highlight that clearly in the letter to the editor, in your abstract. Make sure that you have clear figures, and then if you have good data, that should be able to get published.
How to get a paper published in HemaSphere? Well, sorry, I'm biased, but I am responsible for guidelines, and therefore I really would encourage you to be involved in one of the European guidelines. And we have a special deal. These guidelines, officially endorsed guidelines by EHA, are being published in HemaSphere.
My top tip for getting your work published is to persevere, but not to submit your paper until you're completely happy with it, until you've read it and maybe get a critical friend or senior colleague or a colleague in another discipline to read it. Ask them, do they understand it? Do my sentences make sense? Have I written too much in here or too little?
So a top tip for getting work published. I feel like this is sort of a complex question for me, because it depends where in the world you are and who you know. And even though we might pretend that it's not like this, if you are a researcher getting started in Sierra Leone or in Papua New Guinea, I would not pretend to know how you get started there, other than to say I hope that we can make this journal and other journals places that accept work from everywhere, and where those kind of differences are no longer so marked. And that's not a very practical tip, but that feels important to name. I think perhaps I couldn't comment on what the most a tip for getting published, but I think in terms of a tip for writing, something that someone said to me that stuck with me is to say, always start writing the thing that's got the most charge for you, the thing that's kind of humming almost, the thing that's on your mind, that you think about and you turn over even without trying to, because that's probably where you're going to have something most creative, most interesting, most meaningful to say.